Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you how to make delicious white chocolate pound cake. This is a pretty simple and basic cake to bake even for beginners, yet it is elevated because of the delicious flavor of white chocolate that is infused throughout the cake, which makes it even more of a special treat. Because who doesn't like chocolate pound cake, right? So let's get started, shall we? For making white chocolate pound cake, you need 1.5 cups of maida or all-purpose flour, half teaspoon baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon salt, half cup of yogurt, half cup of room temperature unsalted butter, 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, 3 eggs at room temperature, 1/8 cup of whole milk, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and half cup of grated white chocolate, which is what I personally prefer to infuse the cake evenly with the flavor, but you can use chocolate chips too. Now this is not absolutely mandatory, but it's best to start with mixing the wet and dry ingredients separately in 2 different bowls, which means mixing the flour, baking powder, baking soda and salt with each other in one bowl, and eggs, vanilla extract and yogurt in another bowl. This will help easily blend these things while making the cake batter later, without overmixing the batter, which can lead to a harder and denser cake. Then in a blending bowl, blend together the room temperature butter and sugar using a hand blender. And it's important to use room temperature butter and even eggs like I mentioned earlier, because at room temperature these ingredients form an emulsion that traps air, which is then released while baking in the oven to make the baked good really light and fluffy. And you can always start with blending the butter and sugar and adding in the other ingredients one by one without pre-mixing them, but pre-mixing definitely helps blend everything faster. Once the butter and sugar are blended together, add in the wet ingredients, eggs, vanilla extract, yogurt and blend them in. Then add in the dry ingredients, flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt and blend them all together. And I have added the flour mix all together because my bowl is really deep, but it's best to incorporate the flour mix a little at a time to ensure it doesn't spray all over. It's also a good idea to scrape the sides a couple of times to ensure everything mixes well. Then finally add in the grated chocolate and a little milk to make a smoother batter. And again scrape the sides and the bottom to ensure everything is well mixed and you have a smooth batter. Then get a loaf pan, spray it with butter spray, line the bottom with parchment paper and pour the cake batter into the loaf pan, ensuring to level out the top with a spatula. Bake this cake for 45 to 50 minutes at 350°F. But because temperatures can vary based on the oven, it's best to start monitoring at the 45-minute mark. Just check if the cake is done by inserting a clean toothpick at the center of the cake. If it comes out clean with no wet batter sticking to it, the cake is ready. If not, put the cake back in the oven for a few more minutes till it's done. Just ensure to not overbake it as it will dry out the cake. When the cake is ready, let it rest on the counter at room temperature for about 10 to 15 minutes before you start slicing it. And there you have it, delicious white chocolate pound cake. Slice it and serve it as is, or sprinkle on some powdered sugar and serve with your choice of fruit jam, chocolate syrup or even cream cheese frosting, and enjoy! For the written and printable version of this recipe, check the link in the description box below. And if you like this video, please hit the like button at the bottom of this video. It really helps me out. And subscribe if you haven't already. Until I see you again, happy cooking!